Yeah, sure. I look at it. I look at it in a couple different contexts. So the first thing is if any of the listeners have ever utilized a recruiter before, not a candidate talking to a recruiter for a job, that service is 99% of the time free to the candidate pool. But if you're a business that's engaging with a recruiter, typically you're working on a fee basis of 20 to 25, sometimes 30% of a candidate's first year salary as
Correct.
the fee, right? It's really, really expensive. You
Mhm.
have an $80,000, mid-level manager, maybe up and comer, 25% of that's a $20,000 fee for one person. Very expensive. The staffing and recruiting industry has been around since the 50s. This model hasn't changed since then. That's what customers are paying. And it's one of the only industries that still operates on a brokerage model. Companies don't have to pay anything up front. The contracts are such that if, hey, George, you have you have an opening for an analyst, you
Mhm.
could say, hey, Tim, work on this and I'll pay you 25% of their salary if they work out. And I'm like,
Okay.
okay. And then we go work on that for four
Do
to
it.
6 weeks, but you could have that same conversation with four other firms,
Right.
right? And the entire industry is set up like that. It's what's called on a contingent basis. So you're only going to pay on the contingency that this person is hired.
It's hired.
So
Yeah.
as a result of this very inefficient model, I did this for 10 years at a very large privately held company. The industry gets a bad rap.
Mm.
Recruiters get a bad rap. It's a very low barriers to entry industry. There's 20,000 recruiting firms in the US, from one man,
Wow.
one woman shops to the bigger players.
Conglomerates. Yeah.
And there's a very, very wide range between who's good, who's lazy. And so clients just have their guard up and the entire industry has this bad rap. So what we're doing at Lucas James Talent Partners is we're flipping that model on its head and saying, okay, we're going to hire the best of the best senior level recruiting talent. We're going to back them up with basically a sidekick, a candidate sourcing specialist. And instead of charging you a really high fee, you're going to basically acquire the services of our team on an hourly or weekly basis. So you're just going to pay for
Hmm.
the work that they do. Similar to hiring, a salaried person internally, but
Yeah.
you're going to
Yeah.
outsource this to us, and we're going to be a world-class talent acquisition department that you can tap into on an hourly basis. And because of that, because my team is working on an hourly basis, working on and filling multiple openings, not just one for 25%, the cost per hire with our model ends up being drastically more cost effective. So we aim to become 40 to 60, sometimes 70% more cost effective than the alternative model. So that's the differentiator number one. Clients can flex up our resourcing time or flex it down based on demand. So in kind of like a COVID situation, um, you know, not a lot of people were hiring in March, April, May. Now
Hmm.
they're starting to kind of assess what the rest of 2020 is going to look like and their needs. Now they're starting to hire again.